Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Inyoma. I go by The Simple Pharmacist. You can check out my website at thesimplepharmacist.com. That's pharmacist spelled with an F, not a PH. So today this is going to be a quick video talking about my experience wearing menstrual cups and why I think they are a good option for someone who is looking to combat vaginal dryness and also decrease their environmental footprints. That is literally why I decided to start wearing menstrual cups, because vaginal dryness with tampon use was a huge deal for me. So if you haven't seen what a menstrual cup looks like, it looks just like this. This is the part that goes up into your vagina, and this is the part that helps you pull it out. So yes, this is not the menstrual cup I use because it'll be kind of weird for me to show you my menstrual cup. But anyway, yeah, this is just a random menstrual cup, but most menstrual cups look just like this. So menstrual cups, most of them are not made from plastic that I know of. The one I use certainly is not made from plastic, but they are reusable and they are supposed to be used for, one cup is supposed to be worn for up to 1 to 2 years. That is what most manufacturers recommend. So how to use a menstrual cup? The first thing to do is to sterilize your menstrual cup. It is recommended that you boil your menstrual cup in hot water for a few minutes, not too long. I think they said, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes or something like that, in boiling water prior to each use. Most people honestly don't do that. What I actually do is I just wash it with hot water and soap prior to each use. And the reason for that is that most of us women are not spending 5 days at home while waiting for our period to dissipate. We're working, we're pretty much running the world while our period is going on in the background. So if you're on the go, you're not really gonna just, hey, stop, I need a pot of hot water so I can boil my menstrual cup and switch it out. No, you're gonna just go to the bathroom and wash it with hot water and soap and then stick it back in you. And most of the time that takes care of business. Now, I know that there's a concern with toxic shock syndrome with the use of anything that essentially goes into your vagina. And menstrual cups originally were thought to decrease that use. Tampons were supposed to cause more of an increased use. But there was a recent study that actually showed that there wasn't really a difference with the risk of toxic shock syndrome, which is caused by a form of staphylococcus, with menstrual cups versus tampon use. The important thing to remember is not to wear it for too long. So tampons are recommended to be worn for a maximum of 8 hours for most people, and menstrual cups are recommended to be worn for a maximum of 12 hours for most people. The people that they found getting toxic shock syndrome, which is an extremely rare condition, that wore menstrual cups usually wore them for a much longer period of time. Some people wore them for up to 7 days at a time, which is disgusting. So just be safe. Wear it for the 12-hour period, change it out, sterilize it as best as you can, and then stick it back in you. Okay, so sterilize first and then insert your menstrual cup. How to insert a menstrual cup is really simple. Like I said, this part goes in you, and to put it in, I actually fold it just like this, and then I insert it this way into the vagina. Some people fold it this way, all the way, and then insert it that way. The important thing is to get the menstrual cup to do this inside of you. So it needs to pop open so that it can catch the blood and hold it in there. I have found the best luck getting it to pop open by just folding a little bit and inserting it into my vagina this way. But you try different methods and figure out what works for you. If you're unable to get it to pop open all the way, it'll probably still catch some blood, but you will experience leakage, which has happened to me. That's why I try to make sure I get it right the first time. And if I put it in and I don't feel like it's open all the way, I didn't feel the pop, or I kind of can just tell that it's not open all the way, I simply take it out and I try back in. The position to insert a menstrual cup that I find the easiest is to sit down on a toilet and relax. This is not the time to practice your Kegels, ladies. When you're trying to insert a menstrual cup, it doesn't work if your vaginal muscles are like, so you want to make sure that you just relax, take a few deep breaths, and then stick it in, and then you should feel it pop open. It's a learning process, so it might take a couple tries for you to get it, but don't give up. Just try again, take it out and put it back in. So that's putting in a menstrual cup. And remember, you want to wear this for up to 12 hours. So different menstrual cup manufacturers will have sizes based on if you've had a child or if your flow is heavier or lighter. It just depends. So make sure you do your research and figure out which one would work best for you, because some people might actually need a larger size than this to hold all of their flow. Okay. Next is taking out the menstrual cup, because what goes in must come out sometime. So again, this part helps you pull it out. Now, what I found is that this can create a suction-like effect in you. So if you simply tug on this, nothing usually happens. It'll come down a little bit and then it kind of stops. So don't panic. All you have to do is pinch the bottom part of the menstrual cup right above the tip and pull it out that way, and it should slide right out. A tip that I find that helps me is to get a piece of toilet paper and just use that to grab onto the tip when I initially go to pull it out. The reason for that is because we're usually moist down there, and when you're in your period, you're even more moist around that area. So you want to prevent your fingers from like doing a little slip and slide while trying to grab a hold of this. So a little piece of toilet paper will help you. And then once you tug the tip down a little bit, you can just pinch the bottom and pull it right out. Pour the blood back into the toilet bowl, and then you can take your bloodied cup and wash it and sterilize it however you want to before reinserting it into your vagina. That's essentially how you take it out. But don't panic if you tug and nothing happens. Remember, you want to pinch to release the suction. So let's talk about long-term use with menstrual cup usage. I find that the main cons from it are that if you're in a public restroom that has multiple stalls, coming out to wash your cup is not really practical. Everybody will look at you like, sis, what are you doing? You know, it's kind of weird. So I just make sure that I can find a private bathroom where I can take out my cup and wash it without anybody else interfering. So that's one of the main cons of it. Another thing is that I practice yoga, and sometimes when I'm on my period, I do inversions. Some yogis forbid this. I'm not one of them, but I do inversions when I'm on my period. When I used to wear tampons, this was not an issue. I was able to invert handstands, headstands, no problem. Now with a cup, I can't do that. It's a bloody mess, literally. It just comes right back down. So I haven't figured out a way to invert while wearing a cup. So I just stay away from it. Exercise though, other forms of exercise, wearing a cup, I have seen no issues so far with it. And this is with a couple years of use. The vaginal dryness is greatly improved with menstrual cup use versus tampons. I am not able to alternate between like wearing a tampon and then taking it out and switching to the cup, because tampons cause almost immediate vaginal dryness for me. So trying to slide in a cup when your vagina is dry, it's not a pleasant experience. So I don't do it. I pretty much just stick with cups for the most part. So saving money, which is what I'm all about, is a big thing for me with menstrual cups. So remember that they are reusable. Recommended to be worn for up to 1 to 2 years with one cup. It should last you about that long. If you compare that with, say, a 200 count of Tampax Super Plus, which is supposed to hold a lot of blood, that could cost you about $37 on Amazon as of this moment. And the Diva Cup, which is what I use, costs about $26 on Amazon. So you would save about $11 a year if you switch out your cup every year. If you switch out your cup every 2 years, you've saved yourself about $22. That's not a lot of money, but it is something. I like cups because I love the fact that I'm not polluting the environment with plastic, and I am not just using and discarding something every single time I'm on my period. How many millions and billions of women are there in the world? It adds up if we all use tampons and just use and discard with each period. So the menstrual cups, I think, are a way to reduce our environmental impact while also using a product that works very well during our period. Something else that you will notice while wearing a cup is that it will eventually darken over time. That's not a problem. It just means that your blood has stained it, because blood stains things. So don't worry about that. Your cup will probably start as a light color depending on what color you buy, and then it might darken over time or change color over time, but that's normal use. So in conclusion, my experience with wearing menstrual cups has been a largely positive one. I recommend them. I think that it takes some getting used to because it is a very intimate process. Some women are just not comfortable with their vagina. They're not very used to just seeing it, first of all, and knowing how to work it. So it might take some getting used to, but you will get the hang of it eventually. And honestly, when your menstrual cup is in, a lot of the time, it's so easy to just forget that it's in there. You don't feel anything. It's fantastic. I love it. So I would recommend it. If you are looking to purchase a menstrual cup, you can always purchase the one I use. It is called the Diva Cup. And I will put my affiliate link below. You can buy it on Amazon, and a portion of the proceeds will go to supporting my channel. But check out my website called thesimplepharmacist.com, and you can read about this on there, and you can also buy the Diva Cup through that link. Okay.